I've been enjoying a little bit of a break. I played basketball for literally a year straight. I played like 82 games. I didn't miss a game from college to the pros, which is basically an entire NBA season, and I didn't really come out of many games either. So it was long, but I'm very fortunate and grateful. But I feel like I can just continue.
The reaction to A'ja Wilson's comments was enough to stir up some tension, but the backlash on social media was fierce. Fans and analysts didn't hold back, responding with a mix of skepticism and humor. One fan jokingly tweeted that Caitlin Clark could play blindfolded and still win 11-0 against Wilson. The
continuing to improve, and I think that was one of the biggest things about my rookie year is I felt like there were still so many areas for me to get better in, and as a competitor, that excites you. That makes you want to get better. It drives you to get better.
Truth. The huge difference between the WNBA and the NBA. The physicality, speed.
Coming back, sure. Like, do you feel like as like professional athletes, you guys have like the most like stressful, like strenuous, like careers?
Yeah, for sure.
Leagues are worlds apart. Wilson's height, a major advantage in the WNBA, would be neutralized when going up against NBA players, who are just as tall but much faster and stronger. The idea of a competitive one-on-one game between Wilson and an NBA player was quickly shot down. One fan said, "You can give her the ball first, but she'd be blocked, and then you could dunk on her 11 times." The situation became
A'ja Wilson loves to do two things. Two things. Play the victim, and is completely delusional as well, I guess. She's petty, too.
While the league has worked for years to earn respect and visibility, Wilson's recent comments seem to show frustration with its growing attention. During an interview, she described the WNBA's increased spotlight as super annoying. Fans were shocked. One tweeted, "Does she want the WNBA to grow, or does she want to stay in the spotlight by herself?" Another pointed out, "She campaigned for this growth, and now it's annoying. Make it make sense." This comment was especially puzzling because it contradicted her earlier stance on how hard WNBA players work.
Basketball question. I know that you work really hard in the offseason. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on in this offseason?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You don't get to spend a lot of time in the weight room, so that's what I've tried to focus on the most here. And then, obviously, a lot of things on the court. I'm always wanting to get better, and that's kind of what drives me, and I love it. I love getting to do it, and I feel very fortunate that it's my job.
Let's start with Caitlin Clark as she outlines her off-season priorities. As Caitlin Clark wraps up her record-breaking rookie season, she's already gearing up for what's next. Skipping the new 3-on-3 league, Unrivaled, Clark explained, "I didn't rule out doing it in the future, but this year is just not the best for me," she says, hinting at bigger plans for her off-season. Clark's game plan? It's all about getting stronger and sharper. She's hitting the gym hard, focusing on building the physicality needed to dominate in her sophomore year. But there's more to her strategy than just strength training. Clark's bringing back a hidden weapon, her mid-range game. "I used to have a midi bag, I just never had to use it," Clark revealed. Now, she's determined to add this crucial piece to her offensive arsenal. It's a smart move that could make her even more effective on the court. Clark knows her biggest challenge is the physical defense teams throw at her. Team's #1 tactic of stopping me is be physical with her, she admitted. To counter this, she's preparing both mentally and physically to handle the pressure.
I feel like basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast, and then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team and kind of move on and put all that behind me and help this team, get back to the playoffs. So I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back.
As Clark balances rest with training, her focus is clear. She's not just maintaining her skills, but actively working to expand her game, with her sights set on building strength, refining her mid-range shot, and adapting to physical play. Clark is laying the groundwork for an even more impressive sophomore season.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the FIBA rookie!
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come.
They deserve. It created confusion because, on one hand, Wilson emphasized the need for respect, but on the other, she seemed frustrated by the very respect that comes with more attention and visibility. Fans were left questioning her commitment to the league's growth. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has continued to embrace the spotlight, using it as an opportunity to promote the sport and connect with fans. The contrast between the two players is striking, where Wilson sees the attention as a burden, Clark sees it as a chance to elevate the game. Clark's positive approach has helped bring more fans to the stands, increase viewership, and boost interest in WNBA merchandise. Wilson's comments seemed like a missed opportunity to rally behind the league during a critical time, with more eyes on women's basketball than ever before. The WNBA needs its stars to show unity and pride, not frustration. But Wilson's criticism wasn't the week's most contentious moment. That came when reports surfaced.
For us, we don't have, our rookie orientation is not anything too crazy. It's literally obviously a day before the draft and you're sitting there and you're talking, but it's we don't get to go work out for teams. We don't have a combine. You're going, and it's insane. So yeah, I would have to say our schedule is pretty crazy.
Like Caitlin Clark, who also turned down offers, Wilson's handling of the situation didn't go over well. Instead of quietly declining the deal, her rejection made headlines and left fans and analysts scratching their heads, as it didn't seem to make much sense given the circumstances. Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson's recent actions have sparked a lot of discussion, especially after Wilson's camp reportedly leaked that her offer was even bigger than Clark's. The timing of this leak raised eyebrows. It came right after Clark had earned praise for turning down a historic $1 million contract to focus on her health and long-term career.
And I understand a lot of them superstars are load managing, but there's still 82 games there. How many games did they just play? 40. Not counting the playoffs, but Major League Baseball players do 162, not counting the playoffs. It's so disrespectful to other sports.
The world knew her offer was larger, and that she had also declined it. Fans quickly took notice, especially when so many people showed up to watch Caitlin Clark play golf, which seemed to have drawn significant attention. Clark's decision to stay focused on what's important to her has a big impact on the sport, while Wilson's move to leak the details of her offer felt unnecessary to many. One fan pointed out, "Why does A'ja need everyone?"
She's got to be the world heavyweight champion. Hey, you are a champion. World heavyweight champion of being petty, delusional, and playing the victim. Really? You're complaining about the rookie transition. So disrespectful to MLB athletes. Honestly, it's wild. Didn't know the WNBA had an 82-game schedule. They literally play only 4 months a year.
Actions were more than just frustration with the leak. They reflected growing frustration with Wilson's perceived need to always be at the center of attention. By focusing on the size of her offer, Wilson unintentionally shifted the spotlight away from her own accomplishments and instead highlighted her privilege, a move that many fans found off-putting. This whole situation backfired. Clark's quiet, focused rejection of her offer only made her look more grounded and relatable, while Wilson's actions seemed calculated and attention-seeking.